Hello YouTube, this is Black Thought, where I ramble podcast style about a Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia topic. Feel free to tab out, there's not going to be anything relevant on screen. The topic for today is the December JP Retrospective. I'm finally catching up-ish on these. No, actually this is it, because it's January. I'm recording this January 10th, so we're a bit in January. The Barrett banner is in like 39 hours, and I don't have anything better to do, so I'm recording while also cleaning up my apartment, but who cares about that? Anyways, before I continue, please be sure to like, subscribe, share this video around, drop a comment about what you think about the content of this month, what you think about my opinions, any corrections. Only 30% of my viewers on average are subscribed, per usual, and that's across YouTube as a whole, so if you like what you hear, actually, no, it doesn't even matter if you like what you hear. Just do what I say and subscribe and like the video anyways. Anyways, I'll be interacting with the comments per usual. So, don't hesitate to say what's on your mind. Getting right into it, we have quality of life and game changes. We're out of sync with GL again. JP got huge upgrades this month, to the point where I'm not even sure what they could add at this point. There is the Auto Plus mechanic, so let's explain that slightly. You've probably heard of it. The AI now, you can it's kind of not quite intuitive. Well, let me even back up a little. Now in JP, you can hit auto before you go into a battle. Oh my god, that's amazing. It only took them like 4 years to add it, and Global's had it forever, but shout out to them. Anyways, once you go to the pause menu once you're in battle, this is the dumb part, you know. They give us a good feature, but they never give it to us well. But I can't complain. This is an elite feature. Go into the pause menu, and you can switch from Auto, which uses the normal HP and Brave attacks, to Auto Plus. And the way that it works is, if your EX is up, if it's charged, then it uses that. Otherwise, it uses LD until you don't have any LDs anymore. You have a special HP Plus, and it'll use that, and it'll alternate between Skill 1 and Skill 2. This is very useful for farming because most characters who have LDs have very strong LDs. So if you want to just it'll just blow through all the LDs. It'll pretty much annihilate any low-level stuff. It's pretty amazing. It came along with the Divine Brothers farm, which was elite because you could actually auto plus the entire process. You could just automate the entire thing, and all you have to do is press restart the battle. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They added a direct battle restart button. So instead of having to go all the way back to the menu, load the entire world again, you can just say rerun this, and then it starts over from again. Like it's like a wave reset, but it's a battle reset. So it's even greater for farming. You get more efficiency out of your books, and I love it. If you have chosen a friend unit, then you'll be able to choose a new one, and if you hadn't chosen a friend unit, it'll just restart it from the jump. Oh my god, it's amazing. Shout out to the devs. So I'll explain this when I get to the brothers part, but this is amazing for farming. Also, they upped the crystal cap, finally, because JP side, we've been capped on, if you've been playing for a while, so I've been playing since Noel released, and I was capped on tier 5 crystals, because we got so many, and there were less characters coming in, and the only real output for those would be RF spheres, which I didn't farm much, and I regret slightly, but, man. Now, instead of being capped at 9,999, you are capped at 99,999. This also bodes well for just getting an enormous surplus of crystals, so you never got to farm them again, especially combined with the new UI to restart battles without going back to the menu. You can just throw down if you're old enough to still have 2x 30-minute books, then you can just pop one of those and farm your crystals like crazy. I think I knocked all my crystals tier 1 through tier 5 into like 60,000 plus each, so I don't think I'll have to farm crystals for a very long time. Very much appreciated. They said they're trying to implement some solution. I don't know what it is. I don't think I care what it is. I'm just hoping that now they can up the the orbs limit as well to 99k, like red orbs, blue orbs, because we run out of those so fast, and artifact orbs, those getting up would be great. But yeah, these are some elite changes. What hasn't changed? I needed to find something to complain about, and I found it. JP does not have sort by sort by boosted, sort by double X EXP, which is slightly obnoxious. It doesn't. You can't sort by points to master. There's no mastery icon in the points. It still shows point overflow when you show it, and ultimate boards are pretty much dead at this point, so it wouldn't really impact anything. But it's a nice to have, you know, for maybe people who haven't farmed all their boards. Be a nice UI change. That's the only thing out of sync with global, and that's all I can really complain about. I can't think of anything else that would be helpful, quality of life wise, except not having crashes and stupid bugs all the time. But that's what we get for playing the beta version. Whew. Anywho, now we have content. Where to start? Actually, no, not even where to start, because I have where to start. I have notes. Again, I'm not going to be going over blue armors because that's way too complicated. That deserves a video on its own to just understand it. But Cloud of Darkness has gotten an LD and burst. No rework, just LD and burst. Gabranth got his high armor plus. Who else? Charlotta, I think Charlotta got 80. Yuri already had 80. And then it was 2 other people who I don't remember, so screw it. The LD re-breaks, and it lets her stacks go up to 20. And when her stacks are above 5, she gets, I think it's like Brave and HP damage up, I believe. No, I think it's just HP damage up. 5 or above. So that means the nuke can explode it. The LD also gives 5 stacks, so LD into Super Skill 2 is a true combo. It's very useful for sending enemies to the Shadow Realm. I love it. Fun to press. And yeah, I think that's mostly it. There's some smaller stuff in between, but mostly it's an AoE re-break, double dump, and it gets your stacks up. And it's good for friend skill spam. The burst is one of the new premier friend unit bursts, and it ups the HP damage cap, I believe. But the big thing is it does an AoE follow up after somebody takes a turn. So think Noctis. But I hate doing like raw comparisons like this, but Noctis does his wimpy 3 hits and a Brave gain. Cloud of Darkness does an AoE Brave save, AoE HP dump. So this is really good for speedsters. Again, very abusable, get a lot of damage out of a friend unit. Very good friend unit. A solid unit, but friend unit Cloud of Darkness is amazing for getting insane mileage out of your damage. Like stacking that burst, because she'll follow up within people's burst phases, is just nuts. Pulls wise, I pull Cloud of Darkness. Find that on my channel. I record all my pulls. Nothing scary there. I think one banner was Cloud of Darkness and the other banner was Gabranth. I already had Gabranth. He's pretty dated at this point. So I wouldn't recommend pulling him at this point unless you really wanted him. But yeah, his high armor didn't do much for him, as it doesn't do much for most characters. The Lufenia was a delay orb. It was +1 if you delayed it with 1 turn. And I think it was like +15 if you delayed it. It was a crazy amount of extra delay if you delayed it by 3 turns. So that they were selling Cloud of Darkness pretty hard with that. So most people, I don't like this delay orbs, but this fight was heavily encouraging you to do just that. So most people who did this fight, me included, didn't see what their mechanics did because we didn't let them have a turn. So let's see. Increase by 2 when target's delayed by 1 turn, and increase by 15 when target's delayed by 3 turns. So yeah, just blow them up. Cloud of Darkness and Quistis were the only options for 3-turn delay. But like we have so many delayers: Garland, Cypher, Sabin. Oh wait, no, Sabin didn't happen yet. But yeah, so many delayers. They don't want you to let these have a turn. Where it's ironic because the original Brothers Chaos, they were immune to delay. So they had to sell the character somehow, and they did it. Delay orbs are kind of sleeps, but it is what it is. Don't have anything specific to say about this fight again because I didn't let it have a turn, so I didn't see any mechanics. Synergy bias, blah blah blah. Use Garland, Cloud of Darkness, and Kurasame. The challenge was sleeps. I probably could have autoed the challenge. Use Cloud of Darkness, Gabranth, Charlotta. Didn't think about it. Just blew the stupid. What are these things? Bulls? Dinosaurs? I don't know. I blew them up. Challenge was a joke. Nothing notable about the co-op either. All right, cool. Gladio's Lost Chapter. Gladio got his LD boards, and as expected, he did not get much. He has, I believe, Brave damage up when he has his counter buff up. He gets 2 consecutive turns in the beginning. So you know how you get the free skill from the jump? You can burn that free skill on the cover buff, and then you hit the LD, and he sets it up. So if you need him to counter and cover at the beginning of the fight, he can do that with ease. It's pretty handy. What else? His LD now is a double dump HP attack. That is the trend. If it's a split HP attack, LD boards generally give them a double dump. If it's a 100% AoE attack, they usually just get more hits and more overflow. So nothing shocking there. Yeah, Gladio got pretty much everything he needed because he was so loaded before. He's still really good. Sabin, however, was the star here. He got a rework. His skill 1 is a double dump now, I believe, with party battery refund. So before Aura Cannon just recovered his own Brave, and now recovers Brave to the entire party. So now he's a party Brave battery. That's some incredible utility. His skill 2 is a double dump too, and it's now a 2-turn delay. And I'm talking about the plus skills because this ties in with his rework, not his rework, his LD, which makes the big thing about his rework, the third thing. His skills are now both Holy and Wind. So as long as he's got his debuff up, he's not going to get absorbed unless they absorb both Holy and Wind. That's the benefit of having dual element characters. Because if one shut out, the one hitting weakness takes priority. Good stuff, very hard to shut Sabin out. Excuse me. The LD, I think it's a triple dump, and it makes him not drop his stacks. So he's at plus versions all the time. And he's got a crap ton of skills, so he can pretty much skill spam without worry, and he feels great, honestly. Shout out to Inkwelder. The Sabin Saga is gonna resume and become glorious because he got the goods. The delay, so I pulled Sabin because he looked fun, and he is fun. He's very fun. I enjoy using him a lot. The Lufenia is another delay orb. Sleeps. You have to delay, but it has to be with an element attached. So they were selling Sabin pretty hard. His skill 2 ticks off this orb without even thinking about it. Where am I looking? Scrolling through. Oh, gotta scroll up. Let's see. Still, the boss is still immune to lock and attack. Now, this orb kind of screwed Gladio because when you delay, Gladio doesn't get to counter much. So there wasn't much point of using him on his own Lufenia. And the orb increases by 8 when delaying bosses with an elemental damage. So you could have just brought Cloud of Darkness and enchanted, or you could have brought Garland enchanted. Cypher does weakness no, he has element. You can bring an enchanted Cypher, or you just bring Bart's. I think I brought Bart's Cypher and Sabin, and again, did not let these guys have a turn. They're still as deadly as before, but we have so many delayers now, and they were encouraging it again. So now we have this. Love to see it. Yeah, sleepy chaos again. They really they haven't been restricting us as much as of late, and especially encouraging delay orbs isn't super fun because I don't like delaying personally. I like seeing what the bosses do, but when the fight asks for it, then whatever. Challenge, I did Gladio, Cloud of Darkness, Sabin, double delayers, which didn't let Gladio shine very much. But when you use them, Gladio is still good. If people's like, oh, Gladio got nothing, I don't like that trend because he didn't need much. People have impossible standards. It's like you hype Gladio because he's broken, and he is, and he didn't get anything because he's inherently already stupid. So now he's just more balanced than anything. He's not the force of nature he used to be, and that's okay. That's good for character balance and not relying on one OP character. Stay hydrated, y'all. But yeah, did it have something for 3 turns? Nah, yeah, just delay. Again, they leaned in Cloud of Darkness. I guess because the last month was slightly stupid. I view some of the content this month as them apologizing. Anywho, now we have Queen's event, and I keep thinking this is a chapter, but it's not. It's just a straight up event. Maybe it's because of the stage. I don't know. Anywho, Queen, she is a giant Aurabot. I don't know much about her kit because I didn't bother looking it up because she doesn't interest me at all. I think she's probably the least interesting character in the Type 0 cast, so I was negative interested in her. I did not pull it all. But she's got party battery, she's got HP regen, brave damage up, HP damage up, all the quintessential stuff that support units do. And she's got party last stand. Her EX makes her go berserk, and she gets like 3 consecutive turns of like huge damage, but outside of that, her damage isn't incredible, but she's not there to do damage in the first place. She's also got burst heals on her LD, and I think it's just her LD actually. So she's all over the place. She's got a lot of roll coverage. She's very useful. The Lufenia Orb, like I said, I skipped. The Lufenia Orb was HP regen, which was not HP regen ticked it up by 1, but this wasn't sufficient, I believe, to sustain the orb, so you also had to delay it slightly by 3 turns. There's two orb conditions. increased by 1 when you get HP regen, and increased by 15 when the target is delayed by 3 turns. So I think if you pulled off a because the orb doesn't go away once they're below 80% HP, and there's 3 guys here. So if they take too many turns, then you can get screwed over by the orb. So they wanted to delay them, but they also got frame turns at some point where you had to take their attack. So it's a bit all over the place. The general strategy was to just bring Cloud of Darkness probably and blow them up 3 turns and summon, so you can HP regen and summon and DPS race them down so you didn't die in time. Cloud of Darkness friend could also fulfill the 3-turn delay condition, but a lot of people just decided to blow this one up before the orb went off, and I don't blame them. When they give us triple bosses, people bring the big guns, which is like Squall and Bartz and just a bunch of good AoE damage dealers. They also got, was it Warrior Light Shields? I think it was Warrior Light Shields. But they have pretty much choreographed attacks and movements, so as long as you know how the boss works, this wasn't too bad. Just bring some HP regen. Again, Porum Refined Spear is the GOAT, because you can get away with it on a unit regenning 1% HP and still fulfilling the orb. I use Sabin, Cloud of Darkness, and Paladin Cecil. I delayed for the most part. Paladin Cecil has HP regen, and I think I brought Cloud of Darkness friend again just to sub in and blow things up when necessary. Not too bad, but I ran double synergy. Challenge-wise, I ran Sabin, Gladio, Cloud of Darkness again because I had all of them. Queen is a very good unit, but I have no interest in her in the slightest. Definitely, probably one of the best Orobots to exist in the moment at the game. I think she has like high attack aura and high brave damage up aura, but don't quote me on it. Just look it up yourself. You know, I'm just giving impressions. Whew. All right, now we have the highlight of the month for me. Tidus finally got his rework, and oh, did they rework him? This was a raid, the Centipede raid. Tidus got so much, so this might take a bit. First off, his rework. His skill 1 now dumps Brave. It has 5 hits, I believe. And oh, something inherent to his rework is he got a follow-up in his base kit. So after he does any attack, his Winning Spirit buff now has stacks on it. Does some garbage, like, that's not garbage, but it has Brave and HP damage up, I believe, and it goes up every time someone on the team, including Tidus, takes a turn, and he just gets stronger. It maxes out at 3 stacks. And after he does an attack, he'll follow up with Shot. He'll jump into the air and go, Shoto! And it's pretty cool. Let's see. The skill 2 now has more. Does it have more hits? I think it has more hits. And it does splash damage. The thing about Tidus is he didn't need much brave damage up, actually, because his Winning Spirit scales how much damage he does based on how many debuffs from the enemy. So actually the 8 debuff limit, like other debuff characters, just scale on brave damage based on debuffs. He hits extremely hard. Skill 1's still free. It's hard to lose his stacks unless you weren't paying attention per usual, but that was not a problem he had. I think he got more skill uses, but I don't remember that either. But I'm sure by now you've seen all the Tidus shenanigans, so I don't need to go too in depth on that. His LD gives him access to an overhead blitzball stacks, and it ups by 1 every time he does a follow-up. And once he's at 3, he will do an AoE rebreak Jack shot, and it does a giant amount of HP damage. So Tidus loves those consecutive turns and not letting the enemy get turned, blah blah blah. He is amazing. Oh yeah, both Jack shot and normal shot do a brave gain into 8 brave attacks into HP dumps. It's very good, very, and it refunds after. So it's just, he's insane damage. The amount of time he spent being trash was instantly reversed. He jumped to 100 on Ultima. Ultima rankings mean nothing. And only goofballs use that to extract data about the game. But Tidus is incredible. Tidus is incredible. Aerith, Arciela, and Seven also got high armor plus on this event. They were on the banners. Polls wise, I did a poll battle with some of my buddies. I went to 280 G tokens for Tidus LD. No regrets because he's amazing. Wasn't willing to go for the burst pity like some of them, but yeah, no regrets at all. Oh man, the Lufenia was incredibly toxic. Unless you brought Tidus, then it was a joke. So super synergy bias here. The orb required 0 action delay. So Tidus quick hit, for example, up to the orb, and how much was that by? It was by something silly. It increased it by 2. and the max was 8. So unless you had a lot of consecutive turn units, let's say Queen's EX, Ultimecia, Vayne maybe, but there's no way Vayne's doing enough damage. This Lucania was incredibly restricted, but everyone brought Tidus and called it easy. I think zero action delay counted for rebreaks too, so Cloud of Darkness saw some use. And C65s and calls, I believe, counted. But yeah, most people, by the time this rolls around in global, this is going to get the, oh wow, this was so easy, brought Tidus. So just prepare for that. Challenge-wise, I brought Aerith, 7, and Tidus, because I haven't found a reason to use 7 in a while, so I might have, I got it out the way. She's solid, aura-wise, but her damages and all that. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing really to say about this. The co-op was fine. Tidus' animations are on point. Oh, I didn't even talk about his burst. What's wrong with me? Tidus' burst. Oh, man. He does, what's it called? Why am I blanking? Blitz Ace. Unit pops up in the burst. Amazing to see. And now Tidus does 2 follow-ups. So he ups his stacks, his overhead stacks by 2 every time he acts. So he's either doing shoot then shoot, shot then shot, shot then eject shot, or eject shot then shot. So his damage increases a ton. He also has other benefits for the party. But yeah, if you chain that with other off-turn damage units, like so the popular destroy this stage with no boss turn strategy right now is Tidus plus Cloud of Darkness. Cloud of Darkness follows up on everything with the attack, and then Tidus goes ballistic with his free turns, and now it's a triple dump because you do quick hit into one shoot and then to another variation of shoot. So that's insane damage output. Just put someone with an aura in the background and send me some calls, and you just blow everything up. It's just disgusting. Okay, there we go. Now we've covered everything. Now Reno Lost Chapter. Reno, this is gonna be a doozy too. This month was loaded for some reason. Reno got his LD boards. He gets a personal HP damage up from he gets a buff from his LD now, which is annoying to upkeep because you only want to use his LD situationally, but now you want to use it to upkeep a buff occasionally. Ugh. He also gets a slight party aura attack and Embrave up 20%. So Reno is pretty much brought to relevancy slightly. I mean, his damage was never that great, but he's there for the debuffs anyways. And now his damage can keep up. He has LD call being Pyramid, which is extremely clutch. I haven't been going over much LD calls. Oh well, I'll make a note to do that later. Yeah, Reno is still just Reno. He does his thing. Pocket Pyramid's great. The highlight was Rosa here. Rosa got a rework. She heals on all her skills now. So skill 1, burst heal. Skill 2, burst heal. I don't think skill 2 takes a turn now. I don't remember. What else did she get? She got a stacking buff on her LD, which is a double dump HP attack. She has I think it's party-wide Brave Refund, which is handy. Her HP regen, I don't think got fixed, but where was I going with that? But the refund and the burst heals on skills makes her a lot more viable. And she got slight HP damage up, and hilariously enough, they didn't even bother giving her 20% HP damage up like other units have been getting. She only got 15. Weird. And she gets 5% per stack. It feels like she's solid. The refund mechanic is good, and then her high armor is good for battery units. But it feels like they lowballed her slightly. She's still good, but not much to say about her. She's still boring Orabot Rosa. This is where the doozy starts coming in. So Setzer was also featured. Actually, no, I'll save them for... No, I'll go over here now because he's synergy. Ugh, man, there's so much. Setzer got a rework. He is on one of those one-off banners. He got... So skill 1, freeze Joker. It now dumps Brave. No, it doesn't dump Brave. So he can use it and be safe afterwards. Skill 2, still triple dump, but now it gets refund in between, so the damage is amped there. But the meat of what Setzer got and why he's gotten so much infamy is his LD, which gives Rainbow Brave hits. It is an RNG buff to the party, in which they have a chance depending on the buff duration. And the buff duration, when the buff duration goes down, the chance is lower. But you have a chance to break the Brave damage cap by 15%. It's by a certain number. And you will hit Brave cap regardless. So you might have been doing ones, and it ignores... I think it ignores element resist. Don't quote me on this, 'cause I don't know the exact details. But it ignores like nulls and resistances and stuff. It just, you hit the brave damage cap. So for units who love to counter in the off turns, this is great for them especially. So this has seen a lot of abuse with units like 8, for example. 8 can super abuse this because he has, again, like 16 hits on his counters with 2 dumps. So if he's got Setzers off and it's at a high duration, he's just whap, 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 right in the off turns. He's doing a crap ton of damage with just Setzer on the team. So he's a great enabler. Setzer's LD also recovers a use of skill 2, red card, and I think Setzer got more uses of red card as well. So he doesn't really need to use his HP attacks anymore because he can pretty much spam skills and be fine the whole battle. So I love that. Setzer he has very good potential in certain teams, and he's probably going to stay relevant for a very long time just for the cheese factor. Now, speedsters like Tidus don't like him a lot because he eats through his buff, but like I said, counter units love it. He also got up to aura. I think he has HP damage up for the party. He might have brave damage up, and his auras I think got up to like 90% attack. So he got a lot. Love to see it. Setzer was synergy in the Lufenia, so I'll stop and describe the Lufenia here. Pulls wise, as I say, I'm gonna go with Lufenia and then I don't. Pulls wise, I skipped Rosa, but I did pull Setzer because that utility is broken. I got him eventually. Pull videos on my channel per usual. The Lufenia. This Lufenia is getting downplayed for dumb reasons. The turn count is super tight. There is no auras. People are like, oh, it's basically in chaos. But they all use Tidus. The turn count's like something ridiculous, like 60. And the boss, when it goes in mist mode, it doesn't dispel you anymore, and it doesn't nuke you well, the recast doesn't nuke you, but it's a double dump. So while it doesn't dispel, it'll blow you up anyways, unless you pyramid it or disable it on its turns. So people were in very specific setups, usually around Tidus, and said it was a joke. But as soon as you take away Tidus from that team, that fight gets really, really hard. So don't it's gonna be another one. It's coming. Wow, this is easy. Use Tidus. Setzer was good for ignoring the brave damage reduction when they went into mist mode. But man, this fight was toxic. I ran it a bunch and I ran out of turns just because it's so tight. Reno's good here still for the pyramid. I think they were trying to sell Rosa by... Actually, I don't know how they were trying to sell Rosa here because the double dump you could re-raise through it, I guess. Wouldn't that tank your score? I don't know. I wasn't going to try and do that. I have no interest. But yeah, now we're going to get into Boss Rush 5. Before I do that, we need to go over... Oh, by the way, the Reno challenge was Reno, Setzer, Tidus, because there was synergy here. And also Arden, Kefka, and Vaughn were synergy. But I'm gonna lean more on that for Boss Rush. Okay. Boss Rush 5. That was a mouthful. First characters that got featured. These 3 got featured also in Reno's Lost Chapter, but I wanted to break this section up. Arden got LD boards and high armor plus. Kefka got LD boards and high armor plus, and Vaughn got LD boards and high armor plus, along with a rework. Vaughn's rework is hilarious because he has like 5 dumps on each of his skills now, which is insane, and he refunds like mad. So he can pretty much pump out like 600, 700k skills without he can do it without even if he's absorbed, because the brave gains are so high when he refunds that he can do damage even without doing damage. It's honestly funny to see. I'm sure you've seen that by now as well. Vaughn is a damage monster. Again, his LD boards gave him HP, I think brave and HP damage up. His LD went from a single dump to like 6 dumps of brave, which is equally hilarious. And it gives him aura imperil. So even if he is absorbed, he will imperil them, Bart style. So he will go from absorbing to just being nulled. So Vaughn, they fixed Vaughn in that he cannot be shut out by any fight again. Even if all his elements are nulled, the brave gains in between his attacks will ensure that he will do damage. So if you pull him out on a element absorb fight, one, he's bypassing the imperil. It's just for himself though, not others. But he'll do 0 brave damage, but he'll be brave gaining in between and still dumping HP and refunding himself, so he'll still be doing damage. It's hilarious. They completely fixed that issue. It's amazing. Vaughn is, and also skill 2 has splash damage now, so he's still only single target brave damage, but AoE HP damage, so his damage skyrocketed. He also got the can't drop below 20% Embrave thing on his LD board. So now his burst, people are like, oh, his burst effect is bad. These old bursts are getting retrofitted so that it's just a personal damage boost, so they do insane damage. Like Squall's damage, Squall's BT effect isn't too great for the party, like considering all the other insane stuff we got. But now that his damage skyrocketed personally is just a damage phase, and it's just pretty much selfish for Vaughn. So now if you have Vaughn's burst, you won't be able to drop below 40% Embrave, which means that his damage, that refund thing I talked about, is going to be even higher because he just won't drop to 0 and he'll just keep infinitely refunding himself. It's nuts. Vaughn got the most love. Going backwards now, Kefka got also his burst effect stuffed into his LD attack. His LD became a double dump, and he gets personal HP damage up based on how many debuffs are in the party. So for all intents and purposes, his skills, assuming you load them up on debuffs, because why wouldn't you do that with Kefka? His skills are almost pretty much 100% AoE. He pumps out a crazy amount of damage. He gets a free skill after LD use. And I think that was it for the most part, but Kefka got good stuff. Vaughn is clearly the stellar one. Arden, I think they lowballed Arden slightly. So Arden gets full hat stacks after he uses LD, so you don't need to open Warp Strike anymore. He gets a free skill use after, so his longevity is a lot greater. He got Brave. Did he get Brave and HP damage up? I don't even know if he got that, to be honest. I think he got HP damage up, but yeah, his utility didn't. He was so good before. He still has a good base kit, but I think they lowballed him compared to others. I think he probably could have gotten a little bit more, but still viable, still good, still can work with the right setup, blah blah blah. But compared to Arden and Kefka, he didn't get as good as treatment. And by the time this rolls around to global, it will become, Arden's trash. He got nothing. He's not viable, and the people are gonna keep running him anyways and prove these takes wrong. Hate to hear it. Anyways. Now for the actual boss rush. I think I covered everything there. Yeah, Leon got an LD. He did not get a rework. He didn't really need one. His LD gives him party HP damage reduction, and it gives him a trap attack. So now I think every Final Fantasy II character has some sort of trap except for Guy, and Guy sucks. Jack also got his high armor plus in this manner. His LD reran. So if you're kind of on the fence about Jack, LD, and Global on his last chapter, and you're like, you might be semi-interested in Leon, maybe consider holding out until this banner. Leon's trap is it heals. I think it's either him or everyone, and it's a splash trap. Very good for off-turn damage, ups his damage amount, and he gets HP damage up as well, so he's getting made more relevant. I pulled Leon and managed to get Jack along the way. Now for the Lufenia, which is the boss rush. Oh man, this is going long again. I need to hurry up. The first boss was the 8 Lost Chapter boss, back with a vengeance. The orb was 0 action delay skills, so they were selling Tidus pretty hard here. Most people use Tidus on this wave. Again, people that worked in Tidus' Lufenia raid worked here. Ulti, C65, so they don't want to spam C65 and boss rush because you got limited actions. Or you could just DPS it down if you could pull that off. But yeah, everyone pretty much used Tidus. The next wave was the Crawl Bug, which was a Centipede reskin, and this one was annoying. The orb increased by 5 every time a player reduced or absorbed brave damage through buffs. So think Hope, Warrior Light, Gladio. They were really selling Leon on this part because they all did non-elemental damage. So Leon, if they attack anybody with Leon's buff up, then it would just not do anything. These guys had some annoying mechanics. I think they debuffed you as well, but I don't quite remember it. You can go back to my videos to check. The third wave was so counter units, pretty much Gladio and Leon shined here. Third wave was the triple tray bosses. Weird them giving us 3 bosses again, and they were obnoxious as ever. Leon and Gladio can clap this again. Off-turn damage, meaning you're king. Leon doing really well again. This wave took forever because these bosses are annoying and love to delay you. And the last wave was the Were-Tiger, the Kirin first wave, and the orb there. Oh yeah, the Trey boss didn't have an orb, by the way. But the Were-Tiger, you had to do at least 10k brave damage. So that was a hard sell for Setzer. and assuming you have high armor. But they're annoying because they gain like obnoxious. It was either obnoxious brave damage reduction or obnoxious defense. I'm pretty sure it was defense because I know people who got past this without Setzer by using Sabin to pierce their defense and stacking brave damage up debuffs. But without Setzer, this last wave was a nightmare. Oh god. Yeah, I need people who hit hard, and as assuming you hit them with a brave attack that did above 10k. It increased by 3, so it gave you some leeway. But man, this was toxic. Rough boss rush, but still plenty doable without burst. But per usual, as I say in boss rush, people bring burst because they have them and they want to make an easier time. If you want to make a statement about the viability of boss rush without burst, you're gonna get proven wrong every time. You don't need burst for boss rush content. Wow, okay, I went through that faster than I thought. Vaughn could burst damage through all these guys and destroy them. Kefka could shut him down. I don't have much else to say about this boss rush. I think I covered everything, actually. Wow, okay, cool. I guess that means I am almost done. So let's wrap this one up. Lots of winners this month. Let's go through my polls. So I pulled Cloud of Darkness. Who was after Cloud of Darkness? You can scroll back up. I pulled Sabin, skipped Queen, pulled Tidus, skipped Reno. I already had Arden, Setzer, Arden, Kefka, Arden. I skipped Reno, pulled Setzer, pulled Leon. Yep, those are my pulls this month. Trends, they are again laying off the elemental shutdown nonsense, but turn counts are getting tighter and damage dealers are doing a lot more damage. So they're expecting you to bring a lot of recent damage dealers. What else? Let's see. Who are the winners this month? I'd say Cloud of Darkness, Burst, Friend. Can't speak much to Cloud of Darkness on the unit as a team. Not a big fan. Skill 1's still kind of tragic. Oh, I guess I didn't mention back then. Skill 1. LD recovers Skill 1. Well, whatever. You'll notice it when you get there. Sabin, I think, is a winner because he holds himself up with his debuff, hitting weakness all the time and ignoring defense is a good utility as bosses start to get more defensive buffs again, weirdly enough. Queen as an Orobot was definitely a winner. Tidus is a broken DPS, so he's a super winner. Nothing good to say about Reno and Rosa Lost Chapter. They're just all right. Setzer, big winner. Leon is solid, but I wouldn't say he's a big winner either. And Vaughn is a nuke, so he's probably the winner. Probably on the lower side of things. Arden probably could have afforded to get more like stolen brave damage up, like Golbez and Sephiroth, but he didn't get that. Gabron 3 ran and wasn't very impactful. Also, we're getting double LD banners from now on, so that's I guess we're the losers because that's more polls to be guilty about. And yeah, I think that's about it. This one ran a little long again, but I had a lot to say about this month. Per usual, be sure to like, subscribe, share this video around, drop a comment about what you think about my opinions on these things. Again, I'm just giving my overview. Nothing definitive in here. My takes might change, but it's fun to come back to these later and see what I thought 8 months from now when I get to this content in global, assuming I'm still playing. So again, don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm around. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was a long time coming, and I've been talking for almost 40 minutes, so I'm going to go do something better with my life. Catch you guys later. Peace.